Hey, good morning, everybody. We're a few minutes late. We had some technical difficulties. I see Bree there. Hi, Bree. We'll get Chris
Hi.
here in a minute. We are live right now. I hope everyone is doing a great Tuesday morning, pre-Thanksgiving. The world is a bit crazy, but if we stop and take pause, there is so much to be thankful for. And so it's kind of nice that we have an opportunity to just really force ourselves to think about what all we have to be thankful for. And let's let all that negativity that's in the air just go away for a day and really embrace the meaning of Thanksgiving and give thanks for what we've got. Y'all, I am excited that we have Bree on today. We're going to talk about some great cooking game recipes, tips, techniques, and learn all about her and her journey. What an amazing woman! What she's done is quite remarkable, and we're gonna tell her story here today, so you all can go out and follow her and really pay attention because it's so important when you harvest an animal that you actually take it to your table as well. And Bree can talk about that. I will tell you all, Trigger had her babies, and so I am in baby puppy heck. We had 6 little girls. So very weird, all black labs, all 6 females. And so they're crying, the mom's crying. I have my hands full, so you might.
Karen's crying.
Karen's crying. I'm a little whiny, honestly. I won't tell you a story, but the vet kind of made me mad the other day. And I'm like, I haven't had any sleep for 48 hours. I don't think you want to do that. So anyway, Bree, thanks so much for joining. Krista, I'm going to turn it over to you. Yeah, all comment, like, and post, and we're going to give some good swag today. So take care and go ahead, Krista.
Thanks, Karen.
Good morning, Bree, and thanks for jumping on with us. And thanks everyone for being patient. We, as normal, had technical difficulties. So if you don't know Bree, she had something exciting happen today. You want to share with them what happened today?
My cookbook, my first one, is finally on sale. Wherever books are sold. So no more pre-orders. It's on the shelf. So I'm so excited.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your cookbook, and then we'll back up and talk about how you got to be there.
Wait, where can we buy it? I'm going to put it in our little notes real quick.
Wherever they're sold, Amazon, Barnes Noble, Target, Books A Million, any major book retailer, excuse me.
You've got our website though, right?
Wilderness2Table.com.
And what's the title of your book?
The Complete Wild Game Cookbook. And it is the Complete Wild Game Cookbook for a reason, because I cover everything from big game, bear, to small game, including squirrel. I cover upland game, waterfowl, even pike. And there's a whole fish section, some ocean fish, a lot of freshwater. So like pike and all that fun stuff. So it's a beast. It's like over 200 and something recipes. So it's massive.
Super exciting. So how long did it take you to put this book together?
Oh, I started writing this book, I'd say February this year. Yeah. And then I was on lockdown with COVID, so it was a good time. I've had no life since February. I've gained a lot of weight, and I've emptied out my freezer of all wild game because recipe testing, I have no more.
This is not your only book, right? This is just your first book.
It is. It's my first book. I just, because that's how I am. I like to go full force on things. And so I managed to write 2 books during COVID, and my second book comes out on January 12th.
That's exciting. All right. So quickly, the difference between book 1 and book 2.
So book 1 is the complete book. It has everything. It covers like a range of species. And book number 1 focuses primarily on venison and easy venison. I like to say it's like the Rachel Ray of venison because it's very like 6 ingredients or less, 30-minute meals, that type of thing, like Instant Pot, like how you can incorporate venison into your everyday life. So, and do it easily. So that's what book number 2 is.
And that comes out in January
12th.
Okay. All right, good. So we've got 2 things coming, right? Today you can order your the complete book, the complete wild game cookbook, and in January you can get your easy venison book.
And then I also have an ebook on my website, and it's fully dedicated to baking with wild game fats, which is, a lot of people don't know that you can bake cookies with wild game fats like bear and goose fat and duck fat and boar fat, and it's actually much healthier for you than any processed oil like canola or Krabby butter or anything like that. So I really highlight wild game fats because a lot of hunters throw it away in the field, and I'm like, no, it's like the best part. You got to save the fat. And so I transform it into desserts that you really want to make every day.
I've had some duck fat beignets before.
They're so good. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I looked at the menu and go, I don't think I can't do that. It just seemed like an odd, connection, duck fat beignets. And they brought them to the table and I was like, more, please.
Yeah, you don't really know. It's like, it's not like, I think it's just a mind thing, because once you taste it, it's not like, oh, all you taste is duck in your croissant or whatever you're making, but it's really awesome.
All right. So now we have to back all the way up. You're a chef.
Yes.
You're a hunter. So which came first, the chef or the hunter?
The chef. I wanted to be a chef ever since I was a little kid. When I graduated high school, I asked my dad if I can go to culinary school. He said, no, I need to go get a real degree. So I went and got 2 bachelor's degrees and then worked in a cubicle and hated it after I graduated. Then went to culinary school and I got 2 culinary degrees. So I'm actually a trained pastry chef and a trained savory chef, and I've worked kitchens as both. And my primarily, I was in fine dining for the majority of my culinary career prior to getting into hunting, but I was also a chef instructor at my alma mater, which was really awesome. So I've really done it all. I really love teaching. So that was probably my funnest job. It's not a word, fun. Most fun job. I swear I have good grammar.
Well, you sound slightly like an overachiever. So 2 degrees at the first college, 2 culinary degrees, 2 books. I see a pattern happening here. So that's really exciting. So then what led you to that hunting?
So I did my first culinary school up in Napa, California, and I met a chicken farmer at an event, and his farm was like right down the street from my apartment that I was living in, and made friends with him, visited the farm. Sure enough, like a week later, I have my own eggs in the incubator, and I had like my own little flock of chickens that I was raising, and I raised them from an egg to full-grown adult chickens. And I would go after school, I would go and put them out on different pasture, and then I harvested. It's a nicer word, doesn't offend many when you say. I harvested them myself, which was that was my first time, like, oh wow, this is, because I'm a huge animal lover, like huge animal lover. So for me to do that for these animals that I had names for, it was very enlightening. And I can't explain how you feel until you do it, because you realize like you're so thankful. And I ended up cooking a whole chicken in my apartment that night, and sat on the floor crying, and I was eating my chicken, and it was so good. It was like the best chicken in the whole wide world. And then it was, I just was like, yeah, I have to be able to do this myself in order to be a better chef. And I need to use all aspects of the animal in order to like be respectful to the animals that I take. So that's kind of my mission as a chef. And that's where it all started, with chickens. But my dad is a professional saltwater bass angler. So I kind of grew up in the outdoors, fishing and doing all that. And I was spearfishing before that. Because I'm a water baby. So it's been in my blood, but the chef in me definitely was like, you need to be able to do this. And it just makes me a better chef, because I prepare it so well every time, because you don't want to mess it up, because that's essentially a life. So I have a lot of respect for where my food comes from.
Wow. I mean, just the thought of it and to hear you say it, I would imagine a lot of our followers don't make that connection all of the time. I mean, some of them will be hunters, and so they will make that connection. But the rest of us that run down to the grocery store and buy our chicken and buy our meat may not have that background, that piece behind it, and the reality of what that means. So that's awesome. I mean, my brain's going, I can envision this concept of you growing your chickens and processing them yourself. And then
have names for them. I love them. And so for me to do that was, it's a life-changing moment.
So let's talk about, do you have any special hints, tips, tricks? Here we are in Thanksgiving week, one of our biggest food weeks of the year. I mean, actually, since March 13th or whenever, I think a lot of us have had a lot of food weeks because we've been home. We have had nothing to do, and we're figuring out what creative things we can do with popcorn. But with you might have something a little more sustenance that you can tell us about. So
popcorn?
Yeah. I'm very minimal. So I told you when we were in our pre-call, I don't cook. Like, I really don't cook.
Well, I'll give you a great Thanksgiving tip is, which I always do every Thanksgiving. I mean, definitely if it's a wild turkey, I definitely do this. But even if it's not a wild turkey, if it's a store-bought turkey, you must brine your turkey tomorrow. Brine, and not a dry brine, a wet brine, because that will just ensure your turkey is moist and delicious, and you don't want to overcook your turkey. But in the case that you do, that brine is totally going to save you, and you're going to have the most delicious turkey every time. But you have to do it 24 hours before you put it in the oven. So tomorrow morning, wake up and put your turkey in a brine. I have the brine recipe in my book.
I'm going to ask you that.
So you basically soak the turkey in something, because I have a recipe where you just rub oil all over the turkey. That's not.
No, that's not a brine. There's a dry brine is just putting a spice blend with a higher ratio of salt to it. So it actually draws moisture out, versus a wet brine is a mixture of salt water and flavor and seasonings like lemon, thyme, parsley, all that stuff, and garlic. And so the salt draws the moisture out at first, and then it draws it all back in. And when it goes back in, it draws in more moisture than it had before. Thus, you're having a moist, tender turkey.
That sounds way better than pulling the Butterball tab, I got to tell you.
Yeah. So my brain is kind of overwhelmed because I'm still back to, if it doesn't have a microwave instructions on it, I'm probably not cooking it.
Microwave.
Right? I shouldn't have one either. I need to have a lot to learn. I have to ask.
Wait, I have a challenge.
Oh no. Okay.
Bree, do you have alligator recipe in your cookbook? In the wild game, or
no, actually, I do not on this one.
So I have a challenge. We're gonna get some game, and we're gonna get her cookbook, and you and I are gonna each cook something, and then our husbands can tell us whether it was good. But it's a challenge. Challenge everybody: go buy Bree's book, pick a recipe, post a picture on our Facebook page, and Breeze that you actually cooked that recipe. I feel this is a challenge contest on. We all need to get in the kitchen and cook. And the way Bree just explained that to me, it was like, oh, well, that makes really great sense. Like, I would have never known.
I'm one step ahead of you, Karen. I have already ordered my book. I ordered it last week on pre-order, and I got my email this morning that says it's going to ship. So better catch up.
You didn't get it you didn't gift it to me? Come on now.
Not yet. So what spice, I have to ask this because we're already at 15 minutes. I mean, I've got Peggy Barchi is one of our all-time, almost on every live follower. We met her live and in person in Post Falls, and she said, I'm with you, Krista. So awesome, Peggy. I'm glad that you're with me. What is your favorite? You had to pick one seasoning, and they said salt and pepper's off the table. You can't use those. What would you take with you to make everything work to the best of its ability?
Cardamom. Hands down cardamom. And
really?
It's probably, and if I'm going to be really picky, green cardamom. it's just young cardamom. Cardamom pairs so well with wild game, basically any wild game. You can use it on fish. You can use it on deep red venison. You can use it on steak. You can use it in pastries. It just translates so well. It's probably my most favorite spice in the whole wide world.
Flavor category does it fall in if it can go across all those spectrums?
It's kind of like a cinnamon and a nutmeg had a baby with peppers, with like black.
Oh, no. What is it now? Challenge on!
Yeah.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, so it's like a slightly floral, slightly warm spice, like, you know, in a chai tea latte almost. It's just delightful. There's a slight little black pepper hint. It's amazing.
Okay, cardamom check. It's going on the list, and if we could find green cardamom.
Sprinkle it on everything, I'm telling you. Veggies, whatever.
So it is a dry seasoning?
Yes, it's a dry seasoning.
Okay. All right, good. Well, that's good advice. Before we jump off, ladies, because we're over our 15 minutes, does anyone have any questions that they'd like to ask Bree? Here we are rolling into Thanksgiving. And if not, I hope you ladies will all reach out, look at her wild game book. She has it in print, but she also has an ebook available, correct?
Yes.
So they can go on today and download that ebook and have everything in front of them.
Yeah, you can download my Baking with Wild Game Fats book, and you can download my cookbook, The Complete Wild Game, on the Kindle, if you have a Kindle on Amazon.
Awesome. So I can get it today. I can get it before you get it.
Get that
But mine will be tangible.
Yeah. I can flip through the easy pages. I got it.
Go ahead, Karen.
I just had to say, so one thing, Bree, that I just have the utmost respect for, that when you told the story about your chickens, I could tell that that's still even an emotional journey today. And I really think that ethical hunters all have that same experience that you had, differently because you raised those chickens. But, you know, we all have that moment of like utter gratefulness. Right. And I think that is, I'm so happy you came on today, not only for the tips, which I'm going to use, but because that gratefulness is what we really need to be focused on. And that's really just a genuine sense of gratitude for what God provides and what nature provides, and what we can provide for ourselves through hunting and in your case, raising those chickens. So thanks so much for being here. You're an awesome woman.
Oh,
we'll post your websites and do everything we can to promote your book. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much for having me, ladies. I really appreciate it.
We're excited. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Krista to say bye to everybody. But thanks so much. You guys have a great day and take that gratitude and embrace it. Let's have a day of just thanks.
Especially with Thanksgiving coming up, right? We're thankful for a whole lot.
Yes.
Right. Especially after this year that we've had. We should all find that deep dive in our thankfulness and what we're having, what we're experiencing. So just as always, don't forget to like, comment, and share, whether you are watching this live or you're one of those people that will catch up to it late night because everyone's gone to bed and maybe you're waiting for your turkey to brine. This is when you're going to watch it, right? So like, comment, and share. We will put together a swag bag. Maybe we can talk to Bree and see if she can.
Oh, you know it.
She had to leave. There she goes. Maybe we can put together a special something from you to add to that swag bag to help all of our followers out there. Oh,
the puppies.
There we go. We have to talk about all those little puppies.
They're so cute.
For all of you that have been following since March, we started our live journey. The reason we went to Facebook Live was like everybody else. We were pushed into a world we'd never been in before where we couldn't go and couldn't see. So we moved live, and our first live was around Trigger's first litter, which was her oops litter, where she ran away one night.
Oh, cute.
Was it Lady and the Tramp, right? So we had Lady, and she'd found her tramp, and she had her first small litter of puppies. And this summer, she spent some time up with Sloan at S&S Outdoors, which is where her origination is from. And she was bred 4 new lab puppies, and those are her 6 beautiful little girls, right, Karen? They're all girls. 6 little girls. They're about 24 hours old.
Oh.
Karen looks great for midwifing the last she had to go take care of them, but she looks great for midwifing. So thanks, Bree, for jumping on and dealing with our chaos, with our process going crazy. We will like, comment, and share. We'll pull a winner next week. Everyone have an incredible Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to this cooking contest with Karen and Bree. I have this sneaking suspicion we'll see you again in the future connected with the Shoot Like a Girl.
I would love to.
As long as your schedule and our schedule combine. And everyone have a great Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.